Hello, my motor enthusiasts. The Abu Dhabi Grand Prix practice sessions were quite eventful, with George Russell and Charles Leclerc leading the pack. Amidst the regulars, 10 rookies tried their luck, but 2 incidents cut their time short. Carlos Sainz crashed similarly to Lando Norris's previous Las Vegas mishap, while Nico Hülkenberg slid into a barrier. These incidents sparked red flags, limiting the driver's track time. However, rookie Felipe Drugovich surprised us all by ranking second in FP1, and Robert Schwartzman made it into the top 10. In FP2, Leclerc, Norris, and Max Verstappen topped the charts, but the bumps on the Yas Marina Circuit became a sore point, with Sainz and Daniel Ricciardo suggesting they contributed to their crashes. Hülkenberg's incident, on the other hand, seemed to be a case of premature power boost while grip limited. Despite these hiccups, the rookies gained invaluable experience, contributing to their team's test programs. It's shaping up to be an exciting race weekend, wouldn't you agree? A warm welcome to everyone joining us on another episode of F1 Motor Fever podcast. I'm your host, Enzo, and with me is my esteemed colleague, Mr. William, who brings his insightful commentary to our conversations. We're here, broadcasting every day, bringing you the latest news, trends, and analysis from the world of Formula One.
Cheers, Enzo Watts, and hello to our wonderful listeners. Strap yourselves in, we have quite a show lined up today.
Absolutely, William. And folks, remember, your support keeps this podcast running. So please subscribe to our channel, ring the notifications bell, leave us a comment, and share with your friends and family. We would greatly appreciate it. Now, hold on to your seats because you won't believe some of the news we've got lined up for you today.
Indeed, you're in for a treat.
This news is shaping up the Grand Prix weekend, and it's crucial for any Formula One fan. So, without further ado, let's set the wheels in motion. Full throttle. Quite a day for Formula One, wouldn't you say? George Russell and Charles Leclerc certainly made an impression in the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix practice sessions.
Undoubtedly. And the rookies weren't far behind either. With 10 newcomers at the wheel during the first session, the track was buzzing with fresh talent.
True that. The young driver allowances was a masterstroke, giving rookies like Jack Doohan, Felipe Drugovich, Theo Pourchaire, and Robert Schwartzman a chance to showcase their skills.
And they didn't disappoint. Drugovich, for 1 second on the timesheets, just 0.288 seconds adrift of Russell. An impressive feat for a rookie, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. And let's not forget Schwartzman, the only other rookie to break into the top 10. Quite a day for the young guns. And what about the incident during the nighttime FP2? Sainz and Hülkenberg's crashes certainly set tongues wagging.
Indeed, 36 lost minutes of action due to the red flag. A bit of a dampener on the proceedings, but safety comes first. The cooler temperatures during the second practice did provide a more representative window for the drivers to fine-tune their cars, more in line with the race day conditions.
Agreed. While it's a bit early to gauge prospective performance for the race, the day's session certainly gave us plenty to chew on. But can you believe it? 10 rookies and reserves pushing the limit. It truly was a spectacle. Moving on to the second practice session, Russell certainly had a strong start, swiftly reaching the top. But it was Carlos Sainz's crash at turn 3 that really changed the game, don't you think?
Oh, absolutely. Sainz's crash was a game-changer indeed. The poor chap just lost control over a bump and spun out. The heavy damage to the Tech Pro barrier caused a significant delay.
You've got to feel for Nico Hülkenberg as well. A slide at turn 1 caused significant damage to his Haas. Subsequent cleanup led to a quick dash for the drivers to conduct qualifying simulations.
Yeah, those incidents truly shook up the session. Leclerc, though, was quick to adapt, topping the charts with the first time within the 1 minute 24 seconds mark.
Just goes to show, in the world of Formula One, anything can happen. Max Verstappen certainly didn't let the red flag slow him down, did he? His maneuvers in the pit lane after the Hülkenberg crash, quite something.
A testament to his driving skills and spatial awareness. But we should also discuss the issues with the car bumping and bottoming out. Sainz's crash could potentially reignite the conversation around ride height adjustments.
Wow. I can't help but think how amazing the world of Formula One is. Such emotions, such competitiveness, such adrenaline. It's quite something, isn't it? What do you reckon, my lovely audience? Are you enjoying the content? Don't forget to hit the like button, alright? I'm absolutely loving these updates, and I hope you are too. Thanks ever so much for tuning in. Let's carry on. Sainz's comments about the track changes at Yas Marina are thought-provoking. He points out 2 bumps, one at the exit of Turn 2, and one at the entry of Turn 3, which seem to upset the cars. Quite an observation, wouldn't you say?
Indeed. But it makes me wonder if it's entirely about the track. Daniel Ricciardo suggests the issue could be the ride heights. He noted Ferrari might have gone too low, which led to Sainz hitting the bump.
That's a fair point, but Sainz himself mentioned the bumps nearly caught him out in FP1. He made amendments to his setup, and yet, the bumps still prove problematic.
Absolutely, but it's also about how the car interacts with the track. As Ricciardo pointed out, the ride heights can play a critical role in handling the bumps. Remember his crash in Monaco? A similar scenario.
Right, but wouldn't a well-experienced driver like Sainz be able to sense if the issue was with his ride height and make the necessary adjustments?
Possibly so, but the correlation between ride height and the track's bumps might not be apparent until something goes wrong. Ricciardo's insights do have some merit.
Well, I can see where you're coming from, but I'm still somewhat skeptical. However, I will ponder over it.
That's the spirit. It's normal to disagree, but it's also important to keep an open mind.
Fair point. I'll certainly give it more thought. It's always good to consider different perspectives. Hülkenberg's case was quite peculiar, wasn't it? He attributed his crash to picking up power too early. The poor chap only got to spend about 10 minutes on the track.
Yes, absolutely. Not much luck for Hülkenberg. He had to give up his seat in FP2 to Bearman.
Yes, you're right, he did. Wait, was it Bearman or Duhan?
Actually, it was Bearman. Hülkenberg had to give his seat up to Bearman during FP2.
Ah, my bad. Thanks for correcting me. It indeed was Bearman, not Duhan. My apologies. Let's continue.
No worries, happens to the best of us. Moving forward, rookies like Drugovic also left a significant impression, didn't they?
Indeed, Drugovic was impressive, and he's even signed for a second year as Aston Martin's reserve. This truly speaks volumes about his talent and potential.
And let's not forget about Pourchaire and Duhan, who were granted more latitude in their third and fourth free practice sessions respectively. Quite a busy day on the track, I'd say.
Absolutely, quite an eventful session. But as Leclerc mentioned, there's a lot of work to be done. They are facing a tough competition from Mercedes this weekend. Let's see how things unfold. Certainly interesting developments among the rookies. Let's focus on Jack, for instance. Alpine's chief Bruno Famin commends his work during the practice session. Despite the unpleasantness associated with aero measurement, he managed to navigate the traffic well.
Quite commendable indeed. And let's not forget O'Ward, who celebrated his signing as an official McLaren reserve with a free practice run. He was less than half a second away from Oscar Piastri.
Yes, noteworthy performance there. Speaking of noteworthy, what about the intrigue surrounding Red Bull? They utilized both of their mandatory young driver slots ahead of the season finale. Isaac Hadjar made his second FP1 appearance, and the Red Bull Jr. had a near miss with Lance Stroll at turn 6.
Yes, quite the encounter. He had to take to the runoff to avoid a collision. And then there was Dennis, a long-time simulator driver for Red Bull. Despite being caught by surprise by the overall speeds of an F1 car, he ended the session 16th fastest.
An eventful session for Red Bull, indeed. Despite the hiccups, Christian Horner seemed pleased with his drivers' performances, stating they acquitted themselves extremely well.
All very exciting. It just shows the diversity of experiences and skills that we have on the track. It's going to be a thrilling weekend for sure.
Interesting comments from the drivers themselves. George Russell pointed out that with so many rookie drivers out there on track in FP1, it was challenging to gauge their relative pace. However, they managed to gather a lot of useful data to mull over.
Absolutely, and then there's Charles Leclerc. After doing a quick lap on the medium and then straight onto the soft, he feels pretty good about the weekend. However, he does acknowledge that Mercedes look very strong and they have a lot of work to do to compete with them.
Wise words from Leclerc. And then we have Max Verstappen. He seems a bit disappointed with limited track time in FP2, doesn't he? There was a lot of understeer and jumping, and he believes there's a lot to figure out in tomorrow's practice session.
Yes, Max did mention they need to make some significant improvements for qualifying tomorrow. Even though they are still P3, he believes balance-wise, things could be much better.
It's intriguing to see how each driver evaluates their performance and the performance of their vehicles. No doubt they're all looking forward to the weekend and hoping to give their best performance. As always, it's going to be an exciting race to watch. William, fancy having a butcher's at what's buzzing on the internet?
Right you are. Listen to this. A certain individual by the name of Chrome interestingly put forward an observation about the significance of the British anthem and its ties to Formula One. He remarks, quote, "If no British team or driver wins this weekend, it will be the first time the British anthem was not played during a season on the podium since anthems were played in F1. Quite a fascinating bit of trivia, isn't it?
Blimey, that is indeed intriguing. What's the chatter about this?
Well, there are a ton of comments. A certain individual named Pensar said, quote, "Your post just got a mention by the Sky commentary team," unquote. That certainly stirred the pot, with King Boo remarking, quote, "It's a good use of resources to be honest. Just quickly double check it and send it through. Why make your job harder than it needs to be," unquote.
That's a fair point. Anything else of note?
Yes, there's a bit of banter going on about the Dutch anthem. Find a name, another user, said, quote, "At least we know the Dutch and Austrian anthems very well by now," unquote. To which, a user named Lower Class Bandit responded with a PTSD reference when hearing the start of the Dutch one.
Oh, there's a bit of a laugh for you. And how did people react to that?
Well, the patient, another user, began singing a modified version of the 12 Days of Christmas, incorporating Verstappen's achievements, eliciting a series of humorous responses and even singing along.
I'd love to hear that rendition. Any final comments?
Yes, one more. Unusual Obligation 97 shared a personal experience. He said, quote, "I was in Amsterdam this summer and visited the Madame Tussauds Wax Museum. That anthem plays as you come into the room with the Dutch royals. My brain had a short circuit," unquote.
It's amazing to see how much a simple sport like Formula One can impact our daily lives and experiences. Well, that's it for today, folks. We've had quite a ride, exploring the intricacies of the last Grand Prix, discussing the drivers' performances, and even taking a peek into the world of internet banter. We sincerely thank you all for joining us on F1 Motor Fever podcast. Don't forget, you can stay in touch and ensure you never miss an episode by subscribing and hitting that notification bell. Your support really does mean the world to us. Do share our podcast with your Formula One friends across various platforms: WhatsApp, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, or even over a good old pint at the pub. If you've enjoyed today's episode, we'd love to hear from you in the comments.
Yes, indeed. And remember, we've got another thrilling episode coming your way soon. Who knows what twists and turns we'll be discussing next? So, keep the dial tuned right here.
Right you are, William. Once again, thank you all for tuning in. We're already looking forward to our next chat about all things fast and furious in the world of Formula One.
Couldn't have said it better myself, Enzo. And to wrap it up, remember, pedal to the metal, keep your gaze on the road, our channel's content is pure gold. Until next time, folks.